I am LaMarsha Lewis. Let's talk. Very quick, very brief. I just saw this out on Twitter and I had to at least come on and share this with you all. I'm LaMarsha Lewis. Let's talk. This is from the recount. It says Senator Dick Durban, Democrat from Illinois, outlines the horrific injuries Capitol Police officers sustained on January the 6th. And as we know, January the 6th is the insurrection that took place at our nation's capital, a breach to our nation's capital, something that had not happened since 1814. It was at the incitement, it was at the instruction and directions of, at that time, the 45th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. And he has since been impeached by the House of Representatives. We are now awaiting for the Senate to have a trial. It has been reported that the Senate trial is set for February the 9th, which will mean the trial will start 1 month and 3 days after the insurrection that took place at our nation's capital. And as we know, on that date, the exact date, January the 6th, 2021, the date of the insurrection, 5 people lost their lives. 1 was a police officer. And now we're going to listen to this clip from Senator Dick Durban. It says, outlines the horrific injuries Capitol Police officers sustained on January the 6th. I want to put that in the record because some of my colleagues, many people on the other side, are saying we ought to move, we ought to get over it. And you will hear him say in this clip, the former governor, Nikki Haley, at one time, she was seen, and you can Google and pull up Nikki Haley. Back, I think it's around 2016, but I know it was before Trump actually won the presidential election. She was saying, Trump is everything I teach my children not to be. But now, all of a sudden, like so many others, just like Lindsey Graham, but calling Trump a coon and all of this. But as we see, as the latter end of Trump's presidency, and after, basically, really after Senator McCain died, that is when Lindsey Graham went to the other side, the dark side, sold his soul to Donald J. Trump and so many other Republicans. But again, Trump is the voice for the don't care about, letting it be known that he's a racist and how he berates anyone, especially if you, in his opinion, betray him or show that you're not loyal to him. He would just wipe you out as if you didn't even exist. So, but most of these people, they have the same greed, that greed and hunger and thirst for power, to maintain power, to make sure that people of color are not people to be able to attain power. It's supposed to be for them and their friends, their rich lobbyists, and all of this. And because Donald J. Trump incited the insurrection, 5 people lost their lives. Let's listen to this clip.
The acting chief of the Metropolitan Police Department in Washington told the House Appropriations Committee that at least 65 officers filed reports of injury after the January 6th attack. The chair of the Capitol Police Officers Union put the number closer to 140. I have officers who were not issued helmets prior to the attack and who have sustained brain injuries. One officer had 2 cracked ribs, 2 had smashed spinal disc. One officer is going to lose his eye. Another was stabbed with a metal fence stake. He said 1 officer died of injuries sustained on January the 6th, and 2 officers have since taken their own lives. I want to put that in the record because in a week, with the beginning of the impeachment trial, we're going to reflect again on what happened January 6th. Some of my colleagues and many people on their side are saying we shouldn't spend time talking about what happened January 6th just read into the record.
And I completely agree. But I've been saying this all along. This is not something we get over. This is not something that we pretend that didn't happen, because it did. 5 people lost their lives. I had read where one police officer had taken his life, and I also had read where a banker had taken his life. I didn't know that it was, obviously it's been 2 police officers since this insurrection took place that have taken their own lives, all because of the incitement of the insurrection by the 45th president of the United States. This is not something we get over. This is not something that you get to just sweep under the rug. Again, you want to pretend it didn't happen. There must be accountability. This man, yes, he's no longer in office, but he needs to be held responsible. He needs to be convicted, because he needs to see and know that this is not something I can just get away with. Also, it's setting the presence for future. If anyone else think he or she can do things of this magnitude, this horrific, an insurrection, or cause people lives to be killed, they need to know there will be accountability for any type of actions of horrificness of this magnitude that we have seen play out by those horrific videos that are out there, will continue to be out there. Like I said, this is a bloodstain on our nation that can never be removed. It's imperative. It's not even really up for debate. It's not up for discussion. This man, Donald J. Trump, has to be held accountable. He has to be. People lost their lives. This happened in the United States of America, at our nation's capital. Why in the world do you have people like Nikki Haley out there saying, get over it? Then you got people like Kevin McCarthy, who was seen today posing in a picture with Trump in Mar-a-Lago, there in his resort in Florida, smiling from ear to ear. And then Kevin out there on the floor talking about, well, Trump didn't tell them to go do it. Trump told them to do it. He said, you have to fight like hell. If you don't, we won't have a country. He said that to them. They said it in the videos that they were doing what their boss had told them to do. And then this man just read 65 police officers, they're injured. A person is losing one of their eyes, meaning they will no longer have eyesight. People have died. Then we saw the videos of a police officer being beaten with the United States flag, that so many of these Republicans were so freaking outraged because they talked about Colin Kaepernick, who lost his job, his career, because he was sitting in protest, peacefully protesting, taking a knee because of the police brutality to black and brown people. Talking about he was disrespecting the flag, he was disrespecting the military, but yet these domestic terrorists, these white supremacists, stormed our nation capital and beat a police officer with an American flag. But I don't hear outrage there. There's a double standard. It's like whatever they choose to do, we all supposed to be okay with it. We supposed to act like, well, okay, this happened, but we're not, we're going to give. This is too much. This is a whole different level, a whole different magnitude. An insurrection. I can't state it enough. People lost their lives. People have taken their lives since. I'm quite sure there are probably going to be more people. And as I have said in previous commentary, we're going to get to find out just how many deplorable, despicable men and women in the United States Congress also played a role. They already talking about how Josh Hawley will be pleased with this. Ted Cruz, and again, Josh Hawley with his fist up in solidarity with this. And you want to give Donald J. Trump a pass for killing people? This is really the stance. This is really what you're willing to willfully, knowingly, and intentionally stand for and be okay with? Again, I assume you all sleep at night. The man should have been held accountable before he left office. He shouldn't have been able to leave office January 20 as if his term just ended like any other previous president once their term actually had ended. This man incited an insurrection. He should have been taken care of, removed, and held accountable January the 6th, but at the very latest, January the 7th. But you all have given him a pass. You let him walk out with his little red carpet down for him and Melania, the B-best that didn't do crap, the most worst first lady, and both of them with the worst ratings as a president and first lady. He get to waltz on out to Mar-a-Lago after he has incited an insurrection, after he has the responsibility of people who lost their lives and have since taken their lives. And the Republican Party, many of you like Cindy Hyde-Smith, Josh Hawley, Ted Cruz, and the others that went in there after that insurrection, after the Senate reconvened, and you still voted to overturn the will of the American people. You are so despicable. You're just so despicable human beings. And then yet some of you all call yourselves Christian. That's not Christians. That's not Christ-like. That's not love. That's not love your neighbor as yourself. That's not unity. It's not. It's racism. And it's hatred for other fellow beings. But you want to be known as the party of values and morals, conservatism, ethics. But you're willing to let this man go unpunished for an insurrection in our United States, at our nation's capital. As Senator Durbin said, he put it in the record so that the record will reflect more evidence of how this man must be held accountable. He needs all his privileges taken away, the pension plan, the staff, travel allotment, and probably any and everything else that we have not been knowledgeable of that has been given to him. He needs all that to be taken away, and it needs to reflect. He can never, ever run for any type of political position in our country, this United States of America. No second chance of running for president ever again, or any other affiliation of Congress. He needs to simply go away and stay away. Y'all need to get out of the Trump cult. That is who you are. You're not Republicans. You are in the Trump cult, and you're doing it willfully, by choice, by wanting to, by desire. Like he said, get over it. Really? This is not something to get over. Accountability. I am LaMarsha Lewis. Let's talk.